Okay, one of the very frequently asked questions we get about trading unusual options activity is what does the color mean on the options time and sales as we look at this data? So we're going to take some time and go over that and answer that question since today the market is closed. It is a holiday, Good Friday, and so let's get into it. Right off the bat, we have just color greens. You could see here greens, greens, and then red, red in the quantities section, right? And also here the prices. What does that mean? So greens mean that this transaction was placed at the ask price. So this is the current. This was the market pricing. This was the ask price at 1.05, and the bid was at $1. So you'll see that this was executed either at the ask price or greater. So for 1.14 is greater than 1.05, so they colored it green. And so likewise here, you have something here. This is colored red because this was executed at the bid price, 0.05 here. You'll see here. Same thing here, 5.7 here. This is at the bid price or less because the bid price was 5.75, the price was 5.7, so that's less, so it's colored red. So it does not necessarily, so one of the confusions is that does this mean sale or does the green mean buy? And not necessarily, because all it's telling us is that what was it executed at? Was it at the bid? Here's the bid pricing or the ask price. So the bid ask is what it's telling us. It's not necessarily saying buy or sell, although it could mean that. We don't know, and that's why we have to analyze the data and look at other factors and variables, and that's what we do to kind of determine was this actually a buy or a sell to open or close. And there's a lot more to it than just looking at colors and saying, oh, this is a buy or this is a sell, because sometimes these colors don't necessarily mean that. Sometimes something that's color red could actually could mean a buy. Or also if you have a color of a white here, you see here white means that it's in between the market. So you'll see here a 0.35, that's between the market of 0.34 and 36. So that's something where it was executed in between the bid ask prices. So that's why it's colored white. Okay, so that's that also takes some analysis and monitoring of the data to determine whether or not that was a buy or a sell to open or close. So that's with the color system of the green and red. Okay, so let's go over now the other with the colors here on the option column here. So we have purple here. A lot of these text colors are purple. You see here, these text colors are purple here. What does that mean? It means it's a put. That's why there's a P there. And here, you see here, bottom here, all these three here are colored blue. What does that mean? It means it's a call. So all the calls are text colored blue here. Okay, so that's all it means. You can also just look at the letters and you'll see it too. So that makes the coloring just makes it a little easier. And then I guess the final thing is this shaded. You'll see here these two columns here. The background here, right, is shaded a little purple. This column here and this column here, and it looks a little different than the other rows. So these rows here. These other ones here, they're all background black, right? So what's the difference? What does that mean? So what this is telling us is that the ones that are shaded in purple basically means that this transaction was executed when the price was in the money. The option was in the money. So you'll see here under the underlying. So 4.77 was the price of AMC, which is up here. So it was at 4.77 when this option was transacted. And so it's telling us that this option was in the money when it was done. And then the black are out the money when it was done. So it makes sense because when you look at the option chain here, we'll take a look at this. Let's just use this one as an example. And you'll see under this chain here, you'll see here everything here on this call side is shaded black, right? And what does that mean? It means same thing, out the money, okay? And then the other side here is shaded purple. It means it's all in the money. So these options are that. And then, but for the put side, it's a little different. It is switched around. So that's in the money here. And everything out in the black here, again, is out the money. And so, for example, our option now that we got yesterday, 2 days ago on April 5, this is our position where we did a bull put spread on AMC when we called the bottom, which, by the way, if you haven't seen that video, we'll leave the link below and also at the end of this video so you can learn how we determined the AMC bottom, and we are now profitable on this trade, about 75% now in just a day. Yesterday when it closed, it was at 75% already because it went up above a lot more, from $4 already to close to $5 because of this wonderful 20% gain on AMC here. So these options, this put spread where we collected a credit are going to expire out the money, right? Because this black shaded area is out the money, and that's what we want. If we sell options, we want them to expire out the money so we can collect as much of the credit that we got, and we don't have to buy it back for as much. So so this is what happened on that day on April 5 here. We made that video on AMC and called the bottom. We saw unusual options, and then it rallied 20% up. So that was very good for our trades. And so watch that video and you can learn how we determined this bottom here. So you can do that and understand how you look at the data and how we did this and anticipated this jump in 20%. And when we saw these unusual options being bought or sold, and there were a couple of them there that told us that. So watch that and you'll learn how to do how to see this and spot these unusual option activities. Okay, well, I hope this video answers the question about the colors. That was very common question we had, and helps you make better decisions on your options trades when you look at the unusual options activity. All right, thank you and good luck and happy Friday.